Hi folks, CodeTutor here and my name is Anil Deshpande. Welcome to the another video on Android unit testing. We will continue discussion of parameterized unit testing. And in this video, we will showcase a couple of more examples on how to use the parameterized JUnit class to write reusable unit tests. So let me create another Kotlin class here. In this case, I want to test null checks. So country filter null tests. Let me add that. And as is the case, you add annotation run with. And in this case, I want to test whether when applied with filtration, do we get null list or non-null list. That's the whole idea. So let me just show you initial setup. I have list of countries and then before function, which is the setup. So the country filter null test will have three parameters. One is private val drive side, which is always string. Then private val, I will control whether the test should be testing for null or not null. So I will use a boolean variable should be null boolean and then private val test name. This is another new thing that we are introducing. We will be using it to give a readable, understandable test that we are trying to run. And once again, it will be a string. So let me create a companion object now, as is the case, companion object, and then JVM static followed by parameters function data. That should be collection of arrays of any and then return list of array of left, that is the drive side. Second parameter is should be null or not null. So in this case it is true. And then the third parameter is test name. So non-matching side should return null element. So that's what the test is. And in the same way, array of right false result should not be null. Now let's use this in our test case. Let me minimize this. Test followed by function test null scenarios. The first thing probably that you want to print is the test name. So I will write println running test name, so that we will get from this value the third parameter, this one, from the array list. Then after that val result is equal to country filter dot filter by drive side countries comma use drive side. And then depending upon should be null, whether the value is true or false, you probably want to test different things. That is, if should be null, else something else. And under this, I want to check val non-matching is equal to result dot find it dot drive side is not equal to drive side, and then this should be assert null and pass the non-matching value. We will put the breakpoint and see what exactly is happening here. And then next one, else assert not null result. Now let me put a breakpoint here, debug the test case. So this is the test case name that we passed. That was the third parameter of the array, that is non-matching should return null element. And right now this is true, so it is going inside this, the first if. So what does the result contain? It contains both the left countries, and here we are trying to find which is not equal to drive side. That means this will be a null. And assert null, yes, it is a null, so that is a successful run. And then next one, the second test case runs, that is result should not be null, and in this case the should be null value is false, so it will come to the else case. And yes, result contains 1, which is drive side right, because in the second parameter the drive side was equal to right. And that is how the test case ran. So running test non-matching side should be return null element, return should not be null. These things are coming from this line number 44. Just to drive home the point, let me write another unit test, which is once again parameterized unit test. Let me call it country reference test. Once again, you know the drill now. Run with parameterized class. We will declare two parameters for this. that is should be same. So we are basically checking whether two objects are same or not. So depending upon boolean true or false, we will be writing if else conditions within the test statement. And then we are writing the companion object. Let me do this quickly. That contains the test inputs true or false, and then the test name. And after that, I will write actually the test function, test reference scenarios. Let me print these values, which are test names. Running test name, value C1 is equal to country India, left, value C2 depending upon should be same or should not be same. Let me initialize C2 in a different way. If should be same, then let me use the C1, else let me create another country with the same values. Now if should be same, assert same C1 comma C2, else assert not same C1 comma C2. And now let me run this. Yeah, both of them ran perfectly well. So this is a pretty good example of how to write parameterized unit tests. So far, whatever the tests that we have seen since the beginning of the series, that is in the country filter test, we wrote a couple of different kinds of unit tests, and then we came across how to write parameterized unit tests. We have not written unit test cases where we are dependent on another object for testing purpose. All these tests are isolated tests. They are purely isolated. They are not dependent on another class or another object for testing. But when your test cases are dependent on another object, then whatever that we have done so far would not be of much use. We will have to slightly change our tact of writing the unit test. If you have read about it, there is a concept of fake or mocks or stubs for writing unit tests. We will explore that in the next video. Brings us to the end of this particular video. Don't forget to like, comment, share the video and subscribe to the channel. Take care. Bye.